Hi everyone, Flaming Footy here and welcome back to a new video on the channel. And today guys, here we are on Tier Maker again for the annual Premiership ranking video for the AFL 2023 season. Now this one's going to be after round 19, so just before round 20, and then the next one will be at the start of finals. So I've panned it in quite well, so it's going to work out the best. Now today I've done the tiers a little bit different from last time. Last time we had Premiership favourite, second pack, third pack, mid chance, outside chance, slight chance, and no chance. This time I've scrapped outside chance and third pack and just gone with the 5 tiers. I think that's a little bit more effective and better. So today, as I said, we're rolling the Premiership favourite, second pack, finals chance / mid chance, slight chance, and no chance. Let's go ahead and hop right into the rankings. And I'm going to put Adelaide in slight chance. Their finals chances, first of all, going away slowly but steadily, with the showdown probably being the deciding factor, which there's a higher chance they'll lose that game rather than win it, which does leave their finals chances probably done. So, look, they have to win every game from there, and as a Premiership favourite, they're probably not going to make it. So that's why I've got them in slight chance, which there'll be plenty more teams joining them. Now, Brisbane, I'm going to put them in Premiership favourites. I think there's probably only 1 or 2 clubs which will squeeze into that second pack, but they are Premiership favourites, no doubt about it. I think probably the top 4 probably all end up being in Premiership favourites in this video. But look, of course, that's not changed from last time. They're a really good side, a very good demolition of Geelong, even though they didn't get the scoreboard dominance they would have liked, but in the stats, very dominant performance. So, look, they're right up there with the Premiership favourites. Now, Carlton, I think Carlton are a finals chance and a mid chance. Now, I think their run home is relatively easy. I think they can squeeze into finals. I think they might get eliminated in the first or second week of finals. So I doubt they'll get through to prelims. I think they can still make finals though. So that's why I'm going to have them in finals chance. Again, I think they can finish higher than Adelaide on the ladder potentially. Their stars, again, whether they return will probably help or hinder them. If they don't get them back, it will probably harm them. If they do get them back, that'll be huge because they're in a bit of a roll. They've knocked off Port Adelaide was their biggest win. Collingwood on the Friday night, if they could knock off Collingwood, how huge that would be. So I still feel like their run home is relatively simple. Collingwood and Melbourne are probably the tougher games. But aside from that, though, they've got some teams like, what have they got? I know they've got the Giants to come, and they've still got St Kilda, which they probably should be winning that one as well. And then they've still got a couple of other clubs as well. So look, I think for Carlton they can definitely make the make the finals. Now to Collingwood, of course, Premiership favourites. We know what they did to Port Adelaide on the Saturday night last round, and look, it wasn't a demolition or anything, but it was a win, and it was a really good win, and it was a really nice comeback from 3/4 time. So again, they've just been the best club in the competition all year. No surprise they're going at the very start of Premiership favourites because they are the Premiership favourite right now, and rightfully so. They should be Premiership favourites. Collingwood right up the top. Now Essendon, I'm going to have to put them into finals chance and mid chance now. Their finals chances have taken another huge hit with their really poor losses against Geelong and the Western Bulldogs, 2 games they're expected to be in and compete in. Yes, Geelong at GMHBA Stadium is tough, I do understand that, but that Western Bulldogs game, that told us a lot about Essendon, down to 11th on the ladder now. Yes, they've still got North and West Coast to come, but they still have a couple of tough teams as well in the run home. Giants at Giants Stadium, and then they've still got Collingwood as well, just to name a couple, and they've also got Sydney at Marvel. So they've got some really huge games coming up, Essendon, and they could drop all 3, and they definitely won't be making finals after that. Fremantle are no chance. We have officially, they're still a mathematical chance to make finals, but some really weird thing would have to happen for them to make finals. Look, just planning for next year now for Freo. They're not going to be making finals this year. Geelong second pack. They might be one of the only teams which slots into the second pack. They will be a lot in that finals chance and mid chance. But look, Geelong, their remaining games at GMHBA Stadium will keep them in the hunt for top 4. Doubt they'll finish inside the top 4. They've got a couple of tough teams at GMHBA. They've got the Western Bulldogs there, which they probably should be winning that. They've got Port Adelaide there, which will be a big test. And then they still have Fremantle there as well. So they probably should be winning really all 3 of those, I reckon. they should be going in favourites in all three of those games. I think they can win all three of those games. The toughest one being Port Adelaide, but a trip down to Geelong is not ideal. And they still play Collingwood as well, as another side in there somewhere as well. But look, again, a really huge run home for the Cats. They're still going to make finals. They're a quality. Oh, and the Saints as well. They're a quality team, but yeah, I think they're second pack for mine. Now, Gold Coast, again with Adelaide, very similar scenario. Now, their run home is very tough. It probably doesn't see them getting into finals. They still play Brisbane in the Q Clash, which again, just like the showdown for Adelaide, will be season defining. But look, again, it hasn't quite been the greatest of years for Gold Coast. It's been tough at times. They still could make finals, but it would have to be, again, something incredible. Now, the Giants, I'm putting them in finals chance, mid-chance. Now, I remember back in the earlier Premiership ranking video I did a few rounds ago, back like maybe a month or so ago, I had them in no chance. I couldn't see them winning the flag, and I still don't see this club winning the flag. But I still do see them being a finals chance, mid-chance. I still feel like they can make finals now. 6 wins in a row. The Geelong weren't part of the 6 wins in a row, but a huge win away from home against Geelong. Melbourne and Alice Springs, which was a huge scalp. The Crows at the Adelaide Oval is another huge scalp. And they can claim more throughout the rest of the season. They've got plenty of opportunities. Essendon at Giants Stadium looms is a perfect one. They've still got Port Adelaide, the Adelaide Oval. No better time to make a claim. Carlton, round 24 at Marvel, looks to be the huge deciding game as who will make finals out of those two clubs. But again, though, 6 in a row at the moment for the Giants, going for 7. Going for 7 this weekend against the Western Bulldogs, which was another huge game for them. Look, the door's open for them to make finals. So now Hawthorn, we know they're no chance, but again, they're going to be able to play spoiler. They've still got tons of teams in the run home, including St Kilda, which would be a huge win if they can get that on Sunday. No chance, but it's been a very good year for the Hawks, and they can still get quite a few more wins in their run home. Showed how close they can get to an experienced side in Richmond. They've still got plenty of opportunity to try and claim a few more scalps in their run home. Melbourne, another Premiership favourite for mine. They could be down in second pack, but I think it's a little bit harsh to put them there. Again, we know the work the Demons are doing. They're doing really well, and finally they've fixed up their scoring, which brings them right back into here. I think the top 4 is pretty well settled. We might see a little bit of movement in that top 4, especially with Port Adelaide's couple of 50-50 next few games, and the Demons and Lions having easier games. So there might be a bit of movement in that second, third, and fourth region, perhaps. But look, that top 4 is pretty well settled, and I'm pretty happy to declare that. North Melbourne are in no chance as well. They've been competitive in some games, and again, now they can play spoiler. West Coast on the weekend is going to be a huge game for them, just to show, like, it's just going to be who's down to the better team. And yes, Perth might play a deciding factor in that one. But again, though, they played earlier on in the year, North won by 5 points, and this time they'll be going over to Perth to play West Coast. But yeah, the best they can do now is just eliminate teams. Port Adelaide, Premiership favourites as well. I'm going to put them in second at the moment. Now, as I did say, they've got Adelaide and they've got Geelong. So Adelaide in the showdown, then a trip to Geelong to play Geelong in the next couple of weeks. 2 50-50 games, and 2 losses would really harm their year and push them down to 4th, and they could potentially stay there for the rest of the year. Brisbane and Melbourne having easy run homes, and Brisbane and Melbourne not playing each other in the run home. The only side which Brisbane is still yet to play in the top 4 is Collingwood. And look, I think that Port Adelaide are in trouble and are in danger of missing out on top 2 should they lose their next 2 games. If they win the showdown, I think they'll probably be able to comfortably stay there for the rest of the year. But yeah, their percentage is poor. But yeah, again, I think Port Adelaide can still finish second, but do beware though, Brisbane and Melbourne are right on their tails. Are right on Port Adelaide's tail. So now Richmond, I have them in finals chance, mid-chance. Now, their performance on Saturday was nothing special. It wasn't great, but it was a brilliant comeback, though, I must admit. So, not a great first half, but a brilliant turnaround in the end there for the Tigers. Look, again, their experience could be the thing which takes them there. They've had a bit of an up and down year. They really do need to try and claim a couple of Marvel Stadium scalps in particular. They need to get St Kilda. They need to get that huge upset at Marvel Stadium if they want to get the win, which probably it won't be an upset, but they need to break that Marvel Stadium. Who do they play? The Dogs there, I know, the week prior as well. This one against Melbourne coming up is going to be huge. They've at least got to be competitive. But again, though, competitive for the Tigers might not be enough. They've got to get some more wins on the board, and they've got to do it quickly. St Kilda, they're in the 8 at the moment. They're in 5th spot. They don't in my opinion, personally don't deserve to be there, and I've put them towards the back of finals chance, mid chance. Now I'm going to actually rearrange this order. I'm going to go Carlton, Giants, Essendon, St Kilda, Richmond. Now, look, St Kilda, they have not been playing well at all. And yeah, I just think that, look, they haven't been scoring when they come up against sides like Richmond, Geelong, Carlton in the run home. They're going to trouble them, because all you need to do is probably score about 75 to outscore St Kilda at the moment, which 75 is just under average score. So yeah, you can do that. St Kilda's defense isn't the greatest. I mean, it's a pretty decent defense, but yeah, they haven't been letting huge scores go through. But again, though, I think if you can get 75, you'll be able to win the game against St Kilda. And yeah, they're in huge trouble of slipping out, and they are in huge trouble of potentially not even winning another game for the rest of the year as well. Their run home isn't the easiest. Hawthorn, we know they're waiting for more upsets throughout the rest of the year. They've got Richmond as another one. So yeah, it'll be, and Carlton is another one, Geelong is another one, and Brisbane at the Gabba. So it is a challenging run home, and if they want to hold on to a spot in the top 8, things are going to have to change, because yeah, at the moment, in my opinion, they will be falling out, and they could fall down relatively far. Sydney are a finals chance and mid chance as well. Now, look, they're coming Sydney, but again, their run home isn't the easiest of run homes. They've been a bit ish throughout the year. They've won some decent games and lost some ones they probably should win. Saturday night against Essendon will tell us everything. That'll be huge to decide between the two teams who will probably make finals, I reckon. I couldn't see the other one, the loser of this game, making finals. So yeah, it'll be huge to see that Saturday night game. Now West Coast again, they're in no chance as well. But they can prove their Optus Stadium claims Sunday with a win against North Melbourne. And again, can play spoiler throughout the rest of the year, trying to get a few more upsets if they possibly can. And now to the Western Bulldogs, and I think they're the only other genuine team in the second pack, I reckon. Now, they might fall out and miss finals. I can't see that happening. In fact, I could probably see them finishing about as high as 5th, and probably about as low as potentially missing the finals as well. A few huge couple of weeks coming up here for the Western Bulldogs, including playing Richmond as one of them. They do play the Cats here round 24, which will probably be a big decider. But yeah, aside from that though, their run home isn't too bad. The Giants will be huge, and again, if they do drop a couple of these 50-50 games against like the Tigers or the Giants, again, the Dogs will have to beware, because the Swarm will be below them. But again, though, I do still feel like, compared to some of these clubs like Carlton, GWS, Essendon, Richmond, Sydney and St Kilda, I do feel like the Dogs are just a step up. So that is my list. So do keep in mind, this was my list from last time. Very interesting. This was my list from last time. So my list from last time recap, we had Brisbane, Collingwood, Melbourne as the Premiership favourites, Geelong, Port Adelaide, the Western Bulldogs in second pack, St Kilda in third pack, Fremantle and Essendon in mid chance, Adelaide in outside chance, Carlton, Gold Coast, Richmond and Sydney in slight chance, and now GWS, Hawthorn, North and West Coast in no chance. And here is today's list. Collingwood, Port Adelaide, Brisbane and Melbourne in Premiership favourites. Geelong and the Western Bulldogs in second pack. Carlton, GWS, Essendon, Richmond, Sydney, St Kilda in finals chance, mid chance. Adelaide and Gold Coast in slight chance, and in no chance Fremantle, Hawthorn, North Melbourne and West Coast. So feel free to let me know your thoughts in the comment section down below. Feel free to let me know what you guys think about any of these clubs and their Premiership rankings. Anyway though guys, it's a huge run home coming up. Huge next few weeks of football. You're not going to want to miss anything. And make sure to subscribe to the channel, as we've got huge football content coming up, including we do tipping, round previews and all that good stuff. But anyway though, thank you guys so much for watching. Please do make sure to leave a like and subscribe and hit that notification bell. See you guys in the next video on the channel. Thank you guys so much. Bye everyone. Flame Footy out.